to talk to you about feminism. I never saw myself in the feminist movement. Can we talk a little bit about that, the role of women of color in feminism, and if that is something that, do we have a role? What does that look like?
That's a really great question. I think one needs to ask themselves how they want to be seen in feminism, because there have been many Black women that have paved the way for women like myself who identify as Chicana feminists. So there was Ida B. Wells, right, who was not going to allow herself to be placed in the back of the parade in 1914. Frederick Douglass, who was advocating for not just the right to vote, but he was also advocating for women's rights and was meeting with suffragists during the times. There's also radical Black feminists. There's the Combahee River Collective, right? Those that came together to really make a bold statement, who talked about until Black women are free, none of us are free, right? Barbara Smith and her twin sister, who was part of that. So there have been many Black feminists that have paved the way. And because of Black feminism, I have been able to stand tall and fight for women's rights. Da Hurtado, Betita Martinez, all these women who've paved the way, and I'm not going to accept that feminism does not represent me. Meanwhile, I will acknowledge the fact that white radical and mainstream feminism has not represented me, nor has it represented my community. And I think about, if feminism was really about all women, then she would have never been buried at the age of 18. And I think about, Melissa Lucio, who was a mother who lost her child because she, her child fell and she ended up facing a death sentence. Where were the feminists for Melissa Lucio? Where are the feminists for all these women who are wrongfully incarcerated in our system, people who are being, taken every single day, the indigenous women who are, being murdered in our country, Black women who are also facing, birth disparities, So for me, acknowledging that makes me want to fight harder, and I want to make sure that young girls have access to the type of feminism that I envision in the world that is inclusive, it's intersectional, it understands the complexities of humanity, and it must include men. I just believe that we need to think about feminism in a very different way, and I think Black women have paved the way for so many of us, and we need to acknowledge that.